Who broke up? Who's calling it quits?
The robots, man. The robots. Daft Punk.
Did we call this of like who's going to survive the pandemic? Were they on our
No,
radar? No,
they weren't on our radar. Now, the thing is, they haven't put a record out in 7-something years. So, did they retire in 2013 or 14? Who knows, right? But they did announce. This is you're hearing this about a week after they announced that they were done. They're no longer, and they did it in semi-epic fashion on YouTube with a video called Epilogue. It was about 7.5 minutes long, which is about 6 minutes too long, probably. I don't know if you guys watched it, but damn. Yeah, they're done.
So are they the Dustin Pedroia of music? Like they were just like lingering for the last decade and then they're like making a big deal of retirement?
I mean, they had done some stuff with The Weeknd a few years, 4 years ago on Starboy and I Feel It Coming. And I mean, they
That's right.
had a big Grammy performance around that too, if I remember correctly. So they were still doing stuff, but they weren't making a record, which people were clamoring for. So I think, when did Ram come out? I think it was 13 or 14. And they had been on a cycle where they put a record out and then they went and toured on it, like Alive 1997. Then they did the same thing. They put a couple records out and then they toured in 2007. And then the hope was they were going to tour in 2017. Obviously, that didn't happen. They've just kind of done some bit spots here and there, and then now they're done. So I hope it's fake because I'm a fan, but I don't know. I mean, maybe they're through. Maybe the robots are no more.
I think it's real because they made an announcement previously, I don't know, 4 years ago, that they were going to cease from touring, right? So that was an announcement at some point. But also, it's just such like a, I don't know, reverse psychology sucker punch. It's like they're the robots. The robots are retiring in 2021. Doesn't really add up. Doesn't make any sense.
I'm trying to think of like, all right, so if you're a band and you know you're calling it quits, there's two angles, or there's probably more than two angles, but there's a couple angles you can take. You can make an announcement like this, and you have this, hey, this is the end of it, hurrah thing, or you stay silent and you keep the door open. And I'm just trying to think of, if I was in their shoes, what I would do, because the way they went out now, it's this big hurrah. They get the spike from streaming, which you mentioned in pre-show, Tony.
They got a spike too. I have a number for you if you want it.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll definitely.
So go ahead, finish your thought.
So the spike from that, but then also if they come back, it'll be bigger than it would have otherwise. Like if they didn't call it quits and then put out their next album cycle. So I think it's a win-win.
Yeah. Their spike from streaming was roughly 1 million from yesterday to today when I looked at it. So like I said, I think we were texting about it when it popped up yesterday. It's like, why do this? And then my thought is, it's almost like, not to be too morbid, it's almost like a death. When someone dies in the music industry, people flock to that music. So if you say, hey, our band is dead, people are going to, I thought about throwing stuff on yesterday. I'm sure a lot more people did because their monthly streaming numbers went up almost 1 million people on Spotify, which means it did everywhere, right? It wasn't just Spotify. It was YouTube Music. It was Apple Music, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a good way to flourish in the streaming world nowadays. If you're going to call it quits and you're a big enough band that you're going to get a couple bucks out of saying it, you say it.
I would hate for it to be that reason where they're retiring and then coming back again, like you said, Twan, like that cash grab on the back half. It's like Motley Crue did that, Kiss did that. I mean, any band that does that and comes back once, twice, 3 times, it's just annoying. As a nerd, it's just like, you got to just like be true to it. You can't just like, fuck with the crowd like that. So I don't think that's the case with this band. I don't think so, but who knows?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Just because if they were going the cash grab route, they would have, I think, continuously pumped out music the whole way. But it reminds me of the Jay-Z retiring thing we spoke about a few weeks ago, where he was going to release an album under, his actual name. I mean, Daft Punk, what are they going to come out with, like D-Punk, under a different name?
Or their own names. I think it's Thomas Bangalter and Guy DeHomem, Manuel DeHomem Cristo or something, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many angles. I mean, it could be literally like they have an album contract where they're like, you have to fulfill this or you have to retire. And they're like, oh, we're going to retire then. Fuck this. We're out. Mic drop kind of thing.
It could be, hey, we've been home for a year. And again, I don't know if they were touring or not, but like the whole pandemic thing, it might have worked in the, maybe the different direction that I would have thought, which is, hey, we like being home. We like the quiet life. Maybe this is for us.
They have plenty of money. I mean,
yeah.
And their music is timeless enough to the people that love it that it will continue to reap the benefits of streaming for years to come. Like they'll still make money as a streaming act for a long time. And I wouldn't be shocked to see them down the road producing here and there, throwing their name behind some of that stuff. So you could see more and more of that